The Naruto fandom loves to paint Tobirama Senju as a racist old politician who just had a personal vendetta against the Uchiha. He's constantly labeled as paranoid, discriminatory, even the root cause of the clan's eventual massacre. But here's the question no one wants to ask seriously. What if Tobirama was right? Not emotionally, not morally perfect, but strategically right. Because when you strip away the romanticism around the Uchiha, when you remove the tragic violin music in Itachi flashbacks, what you're left with is a clan whose history repeatedly proves Tobirama's fears weren't irrational. They were based on observable patterns. Let's start with the foundation. Tobirama grew up in the Warring States period. His childhood wasn't some peaceful academy arc. It was constant bloodshed between the Senju and the Uchiha. He watched his younger brother die. He fought Injua Uchiha, who was just as ruthless as Madara. This wasn't abstract prejudice, this was generational warfare. Now fast forward to the founding of Konoha. Hashirama believed love and unity would erase centuries of hatred. Tobirama didn't. He believed systems matter more than ideals. That difference is everything. Madara Uchiha, the most powerful Uchiha in history at that point, immediately begins to question the village's power structure. He feels the Uchiha will be marginalized. And what does he do? He tries to leave the village and declares war on it. That's not paranoia, that's proof of concept. And Tobirama takes note. Now let's talk about the real issue, the Sharingan. The Sharingan doesn't evolve through discipline or meditation. It evolves through trauma and intense emotional instability. Tobirama literally explains that the Uchiha's power is born from loss turning into hatred. That's not propaganda. We see it happen over and over. Sasuke awakens his power through massacre trauma. Obito awakens the Mangekyo after watching Rin die. Madara awakens his through his brother's death. Itachi through Shisui. The clan's genetic power-up mechanic is tied directly to psychological collapse. If you were building a stable nation, would you ignore that? Tobirama didn't hate the Uchiha because they were strong. He feared what happens when the strength is emotionally triggered, and history backs him up. Madara turns into a road god threat, Obito starts the 4th grade ninja war, Sasuke attempts a revolution, Shisui tries to brainwash his own clan for peace, and Fugaku even was considering a coup. At what point does this stop being a coincidence? Now here's where people may say, but Tobirama marginalized them by putting them in charge of the police force. Let's be real. That was a political containment strategy. The military police gave the Uchiha authority, prestige, and purpose inside the village, but it also centralized them. It allowed the village to monitor a clan whose emotional volatility historically led to massive instability. That's not hatred, that's governance. Was it perfect? No. Did it create resentment? Yes. But Tobirama was solving a security risk, not writing a love letter. And here's the uncomfortable part. Everything Tobirama feared eventually happened after he died. The Uchiha did plan a coup, the clan did destabilize the village, and Uchiha did start a global war, and Uchiha did manipulate the Akatsuki. Another Uchiha nearly overthrew the entire shinobi system at the war's end. If Tobirama was alive during the 4th Great Ninja War, he wouldn't have to say, "I told you so." He wouldn't need to. Now, does this mean Tobirama was morally flawless? No. He was cold, he lacked Hashirama's optimism, he didn't believe the emotional reconciliation was enough. But being cautious isn't the same thing as being bigoted. He never called for genocide, he never attempted to wipe them out, he integrated them into the village structure instead of exiling them. Compare that to what Danzo eventually supported, the actual extermination. Tobirama's mindset was simple. Power that grows from hatred must be regulated. And from a state building perspective, that's not crazy, that's rational. Naruto is a story about breaking cycles of hatred, but the cycle exists for a reason. The Uchiha weren't victims of random suspicion. They were a clan whose strongest members repeatedly destabilized the world. That doesn't justify the massacre, but it does explain Tobirama's caution. And here's one final layer. The only reason Sasuke didn't fully become another Madara is because Naruto personally intervened. Remove Naruto, the literal reincarnation of Hashirama's will, and Tobirama's fears are validated again. Tobirama didn't hate the Uchiha, he understood them. And understanding a threat doesn't mean you despise it, it means you're preparing for it. The real tragedy of Naruto isn't that Tobirama was wrong, it's that he might have been right for the wrong era. Because in a world ruled by emotional superweapons, optimism alone doesn't hold a nation together, systems do. And Tobirama built systems.